This is a candidate for, possibly event of the decade. This is one of the fights that's been talked about for the last several years. Artur Beterbiev against Dmitry Bivol.
The puncher is Beterbiev. You got the technician Bivol that's technically brilliant. And he's got so many avenues that he can go about beating you. So many ways. He's so dimensional. He can fight with you. He can control range, create traps, create counter opportunities, use his legs to get angles. He can use his jab to set stuff up on the outside, keep you at the end of punches. He can do just about anything inside that ring. And again, he's just so solid in every area. Beterbiev, he's a box of TNT. He's better than he's given credit for technically. He covers up well. He throws the right kind of punches, short, straight. I mean, yeah, Bivol gets all the credit for the polish. And he deserves it. But Beterbiev deserves more than he gets for doing the things that he does, for delivering the TNT, for doing it with a good jab, for doing it without getting out of position, without being off balance, by working his way in. Yeah, you can hit him. You can hit him easier than you can hit Bivol. But you can't just hit him without consequences. Because when you hit him, he's usually close enough to come right back and hit you. Or he gets close enough. He closes the gap quickly, smartly. Sometimes when he sees you stepping back, he actually leaps in. Not recklessly, not like some people do, but he leaps in with a jab, a hard jab, like a sledgehammer jab to catch you as you're going back. So he does smart things.
Beterbiev 20-0 with 20 knockouts, and Bivol 23-0 with 12 knockouts. I don't know that the lack of knockouts for Bivol is indicative of how hard he hits, but Beterbiev, you should know, he knocks everybody out. That's a fact. He's been indestructible.
He applies pressure. He has a presence. He has an aura. He has a seriousness about him. Part of it is connected to his record, to his physicality, to what he brings inside that ring, to what he does in that ring, also from where he comes from geographically in the world. He comes from a place of hard people. Comes from a place where there's a code of warrior type code of conduct in times of battle. He adheres to that. He adheres to that code. He's mentally as strong as he is physically. That is a combination that is rare or is not easily found, put it that way. People have it, but it's not easily found at that level. He's a guy who's steady. He's consistent. He doesn't know what the word discouraged is. He hits you with a jab and he lets you think about, if it hurts that much, what are the other punches going to feel like? He's a guy that hits you anywhere to hurt you, to slow you down, to send a signal. Here's the difference in this fight for me. And this is it. I don't think anyone else has touched this. He's fought guys before that could outdo him technically, speed-wise, jab-wise, boxing-wise. They could outdo him, but they couldn't outlast him doing that. Because where they couldn't match him was in the mental area. They could keep him from touching him with the physical part to a certain point, but they couldn't keep him from touching him in the mental areas, where he made inroads, where he made advancements mentally. He's meeting a guy in Bivol who I believe has the ability, the mindset. He comes from a part in the world too that breeds that kind of code, that kind of mental readiness, that kind of mental toughness, preparedness of war, of hard core toughness, of resilience, of the ability to say, I will not be conquered. I also cannot be conquered. He does it differently. It looks different. It doesn't look as menacing. It doesn't look as stark. It doesn't look as dangerous as Beterbiev's is. But it's there. It's there. It's there where it matters. It's in his soul, in his heart, in his mind, that he is of that cloth, of that kind of makeup, where I will not be broken, even by people that come to break you. I will not. That, for me, is what makes this fight maybe the fight of the century in its own way. In its own way. Nothing's going to match the original fight of the century Ali Frazier won. Nothing. But this, in its own right, is special for the they're both undefeated, they're both champions, all the belts on the line. But for what I think is the reason I just put forward, that maybe for the first time, Beterbiev is matching with a guy that not only has the artillery, not the power necessarily, but the other guns. There's all kinds of guns. They don't all have to be howitzers. He brings that. He brings the ability to have a chance to beat Beterbiev, which other people have, but with the other part. Maybe for the first time. With the part that's the most important part, the mental part. That part. And because of that, I don't think Bivol's getting broken. Now, he might get physically overrun by body shots if Beterbiev can close the gap, which he's going to have to take something to do that. And there's a couple things that go with that. His skin. He's almost 40. Forget about Father Time. I'll get to him in a minute. But his skin. He's got the older skin that has been cut. It has been cut. It has been stitched. There is scar tissue. He doesn't care about blood. He don't care. But if he does get cut, and cut bad enough, does that possibly impact a stoppage? Possibly. Depends on what's going on. Depends on how the fight's going. Depends on how bad the cut is. Depends on who the referee is, quite frankly. But that could come into play. But the most important thing for me is that Bivol can handle what's going to be thrown at him mentally. That, to me, is the most. And again, Beterbiev, he's better than people think he is technically. He will use the jab. He will step out of range and then step back. He will go take a walk around the corner, like the old timers said, when he has to take a walk around the corner and not stand in front of you. But he will come to you with that jab. He will close the gap. He will look to go to the body. He will look to continue to apply pressure. And if he can close that gap and get to the body of Bivol, then he'll be where he wants to be to have the best chance to win. I'm going to say Bivol's going to control range. I'm going to say Bivol's going to use that jab. I'm going to say Bivol's going to use his legs. And I'm going to say when that moment comes, and it always comes, I believe that Bivol will answer that door. He will answer that knock. He will not allow that door to be broken down like it has been broken down by 20 other people that had broken down. 20 other people had it broken down by Beterbiev. I don't believe Bivol will let it be broken down. I believe he'll open the door and say, okay, here, take this. Bang! Take this. Bang! And he'll be right there. We'll see what happens. And at the end of the day, the best man will win. Not only the best man physically, not only the best man technically, but the man who can couple that, put that with the part I've been talking about, the mental part, which is 75% of this. I believe Bivol will be ready for that knock. At the end of the day, I'm taking Bivol to win a decision. And the only other X factor I promised I would touch on, besides the cuts, is what I said before. I touched it. old man time, the guy who's undefeated. I don't know when Beterbiev's going to get old. He's coming to 40, right? He's just about on the doorstep of 40. I don't know when he's...
Let me give you the ages here. One sec.
He had a lot of amateur fights.
Beterbiev, 39 years old. Bivol is
34, right?
Is 33.
33. So 6-year difference. I don't know when Beterbiev... Everyone gets old. I'll tell you this, that I do know. So far, Beterbiev at this age, 38, 39, going towards 40, he's looked like a good wine that's gotten better. He's actually looked like a good... You could make an argument that he's looked like a wine that has improved with age. You can make that argument. But again, I don't know when the day's going to come that argument ain't going to hold water no more.